The crowd inside the Smackdown arena was electric, but no one could have predicted the chaos that was about to unfold. The cameras cut to the backstage area, and there he was, the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar, pacing like a predator that had just been let out of its cage. His hands were clenched, his eyes cold, and every step radiated pure aggression. The tension spiked instantly when a shadow fell over the hallway, the towering figure of the giant Talla Tonga. Standing nearly 7 feet tall and built like a fortress, Tonga had been making waves in WWE, intimidating opponents with his sheer size and brutal style. But tonight, he had no idea that Brock Lesnar had him in his sights. Talla smirked as he saw Lesnar, clearly unafraid. "You're in the wrong place, beast." Asterisk. Brock didn't even flinch. Instead, he tilted his head slightly, studying Tonga like a hunter sizing up his prey. Then, without warning, Brock exploded forward, ramming Tonga into the concrete wall with a thunderous bang. The cameras shook from the impact, the arena erupting with gasps and cheers. Talla tried to shove Brock away, but Lesnar's raw power was unmatched. He grabbed the giant by the waist and, in a feat of unbelievable strength, lifted him clean off the ground, driving him into the opposite wall with a crushing spinebuster that sent crates and equipment flying. The backstage crew scrambled to get out of the way as Lesnar grabbed a steel chair from a nearby table. The sound of metal echoed through the hallway as he smashed it across Tonga's back, once, twice, 3 times, each strike more vicious than the last. But instead of staying down, Tonga roared in defiance, shoving Lesnar back a few steps. That only seemed to fuel the beast's rage. Brock charged again, this time spearing Tonga so hard that both men crashed through a stack of production boxes. The impact left debris everywhere, smoke and dust rising into the air as referees and officials rushed onto the scene, yelling for Brock to stop. But Brock Lesnar doesn't stop. He hauled Tonga to his feet, dragging the massive man toward the gorilla position. The crowd inside the arena could hear the chaos building, their cheers growing louder as they realized the fight was heading toward the stage. Just as the two men burst through the curtain, Brock flung Tonga onto the steel ramp with a sickening thud. The beast raised his arms to the crowd, soaking in the roar of approval before stomping toward his opponent again. Tonga tried to get to his knees, but Lesnar caught him, locking in a tight waist grip. The audience erupted as Brock suplexed the giant across the ramp, the sound of his body hitting metal ringing out like a gunshot. The commentary team was losing their minds. This wasn't a match, it was a demolition. And Brock Lesnar was just getting started. Talla Tonga was sprawled out on the steel ramp, groaning in pain, but Brock Lesnar wasn't satisfied. The beast grabbed Tonga by the head, yanking him up and dragging his massive frame down toward the ringside area. Fans in the front row were on their feet, some screaming in excitement, others in shock at the sheer brutality they were witnessing. Brock slammed Tonga's head into the steel steps, once, twice, 3 times, the loud clang echoing through the arena. Then, with a monstrous roar, Lesnar ripped the steel steps off the ground and smashed them directly into Tonga's chest, sending the giant tumbling backward against the barricade. The barricade shook violently, nearly breaking under Tonga's weight. Brock backed up a few steps, eyes locked on his target, before charging full speed, shoulder first, through Tonga and the barricade, shattering it in an explosion of debris. The crowd erupted into chants of asterisk, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Asterisk, a security tried in vain to contain the chaos. But Lesnar wasn't done. He dragged the barely conscious Tonga into the ring, the giant's massive body leaving dents in the padding with every move. Brock stepped through the ropes, tossing his gloves aside, the sign that the beast was about to end this once and for all. With a frightening display of strength, Lesnar hoisted Talla Tonga onto his shoulders. The crowd roared in disbelief. This was no ordinary man he was lifting, this was nearly 400 pounds of Samoan powerhouse. Without hesitation, Brock F5'd Tonga with such force that the ring itself shook. The referee, who wasn't even officiating a match, slid into the ring out of pure instinct, checking on Tonga. But Lesnar pushed him aside, glaring down at the fallen giant. Then, just to prove a point, Brock lifted Tonga again for a second F5, this time directly onto a steel chair in the middle of the ring. Talla Tonga lay motionless, his chest rising and falling slowly, while Lesnar stood over him, breathing heavily, eyes scanning the crowd like a predator who had just sent a message to the entire WWE locker room. Paul Heyman appeared at ringside, nervously clapping, clearly aware of what this meant. Brock Lesnar wasn't just back, he was on a mission. And anyone who thought they were unstoppable, even a man the size of Talla Tonga, had just been proven wrong in the most violent way possible. As Brock's music hit, the Beast raised his arms, staring directly into the camera with a chilling smirk. The message was clear: no one is safe. The show cut to commercial, but the image of Talla Tonga's broken body in the ring, surrounded by referees and medics, would be burned into the minds of WWE fans for weeks to come.